Hello, hello. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is this happening? It is. Hello, hello. Good afternoon to all. Shit. This is just I, so I shall wait a second and let people hop in the chat. Might even grab my water as I left it. Mama. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah. If you're watching about and wondering what I'm doing while I'm making those noises, I'm warming up to speak to chat on stream. It's not like I really have to, but sometimes I do notice after very long streams, voice is a little fried. Just reading a little bit of the Tapology forum. I think I'm losing my hair. It's okay, I'm at that age. Past halfway through my 20s. It's over. It's over. Sometimes I'll be realizing that. Oh god. I wouldn't wish being 26 on my worst enemy. Alright, here we go. Let me... Audio looks like it's working. Audio looks like it's working, and I'm deep. I gotta like the stream to get the ball rolling. Here we go. You gotta like your own shit, you know. Never, never been on Instagram like that, but Ed's always told me that's like the major like faux pas. That's the no-no, you know. Don't like your own shit on Instagram. But I always thought to myself, and I remember seeing it in a comment one time. You gotta like your own shit to get the ball rolling, you know. Just get started. Just get started. And also, like, I also believe, simply and maybe as silly as it sounds, I like it. I made it and I like it. You know, why wouldn't I like it? I like it. I literally like it. I probably like it. I'm one of the people that like it the fucking most, TBH. For a different reason, granted, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay. Grab some water and then we will really, really start this thing off. We'll have my phone, so if someone sends something to the chat, I will be able to hear you. Hear you. Peep you. Then I shall return and we'll get into these picks. Pretty decent card coming up here. Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez. Some fights seem to be a little tweaky here. Hello to whoever just hopped in. Some fights are a little bit tweaky here, but should be pretty juicy for the most part. Excuse me for one moment. I shall be right back, and then we shall make these picks and predictions for UFC Fight Night Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez. Oh. Should have had some music. Oh shit. Oh shit. God. Holy shit. I look crazy. I'll let this rock for 1 second. Maybe no hood. Maybe no hood. My hair is a little big, but fuck it. Now I just look like I'm in like West Side Story or Grease or some shit. Or fucking Saturday Night Fever. Alright, here we go. Scroll back up to the top as always we do. I pick the stats up, the matchup pages off of Tapology.com if you want to follow directly along what I'm looking at. But honestly, anything, pretty much any site will be fine. Event page. UFC Fight Night, Dolidze versus Hernandez. At the Apex, yay! 12 fights, so... I don't know. You know, it's starting at 4, and when is it going to end? Maybe 10. This is another thing. I don't even want to get into this rant early on about the start times and finish times for this shit, but there's no way that there can be like a 14 fight card, 15 fight card that also lasts 6.5, 7 hours and ends at midnight, and they also have fight nights. They being the UFC, they have fight nights that go to fucking midnight that start again at 5, 6 o'clock, but it's 11, 12, sometimes 10 fights. At this point, and this is coming from someone that has fucking ESPN Plus. I watch it through the official channels that the UFC offers. The majority of it is ads. You're literally watching ads. You are paying and you are watching ads. It's getting to a point where I think like you can't, in good conscience, you can't fucking pay for this, for the ESPN streaming shit. Shit blows mine. The only function, the only purpose, the only use I get out of it is, one, I don't time travel. Like if the stream starts tweaking, stream that I'm watching, I should say, starts tweaking, sometimes I'll hop back and forth between fights, go back to fights that ended an hour ago, you know, hop back 30 seconds, go back to regular time, then go back 5 seconds, shit like that. Obviously, not to mention the possibilities of the streams just going down. That's really it, just for the stability of that. But the cost of that stability is I'm locked into watching. Maybe I'll try to like record it in some fashion. I'm locked into watching, like, it feels like 2 hours of a 6-hour program of ads. It's not cool. It's not cool. It is not cool. All right, here we go. First bout of the night. Spooky hours. Cody Brundage versus Eric McConico. Nico. I remember last time, actually, I do remember this guy fumbling around with his name. Man actually lost his debut. I forgot who he lost it to. There was one thing I wanted to look at as well. The weigh-in information. That might be actually on the pick screen, but we shall see. I gotta go back. I swear to God, on Tapology, they always had a little thing where you... Oh, well, I guess the weigh-ins are today. Question mark, I'm tweaking. So yes, shall just go back. All right, here we go. Cody Brundage versus Eric McConaughey. Now, Eric in his last bout, in his debut, I believe, he got marked. He got packed out. He did get packed out. He got packed out by Nelson Ruziboev. Holy. So not the worst, actually. Not the worst that could have happened. Man's fighting Cody Brundage. Now, Cody Brundage disrespected. I've said this. Man's disrespected a lot. A lot. That man, Sir Abdul Malik shit. Got me going crazy, bro. Got me going crazy, man. Cody Brundage is disrespected. Man is nowhere near as dog shit as people say he is. Eric McConaughey is still not that green, actually, overall, but very new to the UFC. Really hasn't been fighting dudes like this. You know, I think Cody Brundage has, at least. Cody Brundage has fought some tough dudes, some spooky dudes, in fact. So I'm going to go with Cody. I could see Cody actually getting a sub here on some spooky shit. Tapology hasn't... Actually, no, I'm going to go by decision. Tapology has him KOing this man. Maybe McConaughey survives, but I don't know about that one. Beyond that, we have a spooky fight. Oh, God, man. Julia Stoliarenko. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. It's been a while. It's actually been a while since we've seen Julia. I believe that is how it's said. But it's been a while. Versus Gabriela Fernandez. Gabriela Fernandez is very good herself, just kind of gasses out type shit. It's going to get a little spooky. Had to fraud check. Fuck. I forgot. How do you pronounce? Wang Chong. Had to fraud check her, dumbass. The Joker, that Chinese chick that's been wilding, that has a crazy pointy head. Julia, on the other hand, has kind of been prey in the UFC. People be dog walking her. She does win, though, but she wins against some bummies. Jessica Rose Clark was ass. Molly McCann is... I mean, she lives up to her name type shit. She lives up to her name. It's actually funny that Julia got a win over Molly McCann, and that was a good win for her. She violated her. Dumbass. She's always been a big underdog in her fights. Got murked by Luana Dread Carolina in her last fight. That was nasty. But honestly, a split decision win over Carly Judice. This is for Gabriela Fernandez. Aged well. Carly Judice has been violating, even though she's very green in terms of overall record. Wang Song was super hyped up. Fraud checked her. Choked her the fuck out. Gabby will win this fight, I think, but Julia's a chick that I've picked in the past to really, as a deep underdog, to win, and she has. She smoked on Molly McCann. However, I think I also picked her against Chelsea Chandler and Luana Carolina, and she got murked by both of them. So no more emotional Stoliarenko picks. We're going to go with Gabby. And Gabby is strong as fuck. She's technical when it comes to grappling. She knows what she's doing. Many people think that this fight goes the distance. I could see Gabby getting a sub, low-key. And that's the thing. If Gabby's going for the sub, they're already on the ground. They're in grappling exchanges. Something spooky might happen, and Julia possibly gets the sub. That's her bread and butter. That's probably how she's going to win if she does win. Unless she somehow gets just control of Gabby. I could actually maybe see that. Gabby's strength fades early, or maybe it's just not how I think it plays out. Gabby is nowhere near that strong. Julia's nowhere near that meek. And she's able to maybe just lay and prey on Gabby for the whole fight. She wins by decision. But I will say Gabriela Hernandez wins this fight. Again, by submission or by decision is tough here, but I'm gonna go by sub. Actually. Julia, I don't think that. Another thing is, I don't think Julia. I think Julia is competent enough on the ground to at least be able to fight off some subs. You can look at Gabby and see her fucking. She has lats like Bruce Lee, for Christ's sake. But we might come back to the round and method of victory pick on that one. But Gabriela Hernandez is the pick. Moving on, third fight. This should be good, actually. One of the early bangers. Not to say that the other fights are going to be bad. Just, I think this is going to be one of the more explosive fights, so to speak, early off. Talking about Uros Medic versus Gilbert Urbina. Whoa. Now, Gilbert, yep. Gilbert let me down in his last... Actually, no, he didn't let me down. Thought he fought someone else. My son fought Chuck Buffalo, Charles Radke. Got murked, packed out bad. Smoked on Orion Kosh, like everyone else. Ryan Battle clapped his dumbass when he was a youngin'. All right. This was a great win for Punahele Soriano, though. Him knocking out Uros Medic was fire. That was fire. I don't know if Uros Medic... It's funny. Uros Medic hasn't been on like a real bad tear or anything. Yeah, and he won that Matthew Semmelsberger fight, even though he was getting fucked up in that. Dude's a pretty brawlic fighter. Yeah, Gilbert should be much bigger than him. And Gilbert Urbina doesn't have the worst losses. Man, 7-3, right? But his 3 losses have come in his last 5 fights. Man, lost to Sean Brady in LFA. That's fine. That was 6 years ago, by the way. Almost 7. 6 years and 10 months ago. Lost to Brian Battle almost 4 years ago. 3 years and 11 months ago. And then a year and a half ago, he got KO'd by Chuck Buff. So, not the worst. I kind of want to pick Urbina. Urbina's actually a big underdog here. Realistically, though, shit. I think Gilbert Urbina has to crack and hurt Uros off rip really early. If not, clipped. Uros, on the other hand, has a couple ways that he could win this. Might actually end up going with this man, Uros Medic. And low-key, the Chuck Buffalo shit made me sad. A little bit. So I might actually go with Uros Medic round 1 KOTK. I don't know if Urbina can take it. That's going to be my test. That's the feeler. Moving on. Jocelyn Edwards versus Priscilla Cachoeira. Priscilla Cachoeira, again, I think that's a chick who actually, in her last fight, crazy comeback. Not comeback in general in terms of her career yet. Knocked out Josie Nunez with a fucking crazy uppercut. Smoked her face first. That was nasty. The return of the Zombie Girl. Zombie Girl Resurrection. Holy shit. Jocelyn Edwards, on the other end, was racking it up a little bit. Ran into bum-ass Nora Cornell and lost. A loss to Eileen Perez really is not the worst, though. A loss to Tamaris Vidal, that's not good. That's really not good. A loss to Chelsea, or excuse me. Wins over Tamaris Vidal and Chelsea Chandler aren't as impressive as they may seem, but the impressive part about them is that she did finish them. That's what you have to do against those little bum rats. Unfortunately, I think this fight is going to be kind of one-sided. I do think that Jocelyn Edwards is going to violate a little bit. Priscilla gets hit. I think this fight maybe even gets stopped. Jocelyn can box. Jocelyn also, this is good to note. Yeah, fuck, it's not showing me here, but I remember. Jocelyn Edwards was expecting a fight. She had previous opponents that fell out. Priscilla Cachoeira is a late notice replacement. I'm going to go with Jocelyn Edwards by decision. Play it safe with the decision there for the method of victory. We move on. That should be a good fight, though, actually. That might be a really, really good fight, in fact. Jocelyn Edwards versus Priscilla Cachoeira. Maybe not. Might just be mids. Probably it'll just be mids, but might be pretty good. A lot of fights on this card, actually. I'd say the theme of this card isn't redemption. Redemption has been a theme that the UFC has went to a couple times. Sacrifice and build-up has been is usually the theme, actually. Build-up is usually the theme. Sometimes it's chaos. This one seems to be rebuilding. This seems to be a rebuilding card. What do I mean by a rebuilding card? I think they're trying to rebuild a lot of fighters on this card. Their reputations, their careers, or they're giving two fighters the chance, and they'll duke it out. You know, like Cody Brundage, for example. Dudes got done very dirty versus Mansour Abdul-Malik. Eric, not really, but Eric, he was a short notice signee for Norsten Roziboev. You know, so rebuild them a little bit. Gabby Hernandez, they know is strong as shit. Julia, not so much. They know Julia can maybe pull a win, I think, out of nowhere, but really, they're trying to rebuild Gabriela Fernandez. Give her another win. Give her a 3-win streak. You know, Uros Medic and Gilbert Urbina. Uros, he's won some and he lost some. Same thing with Gilbert. They really want one of these dudes to shine with a big highlight. They're going to push him a little bit more. A little bit more. And Mans thought that Uros Medic was going to not... Mans thought that they were going to kill Soriano via Uros Medic. But no, that did not happen. The Jocelyn Edwards, I would say they were trying to build up Jocelyn Edwards. I don't remember her previous opponent, but Priscilla Cachoeira, late notice replacement. Again, it might be tough. I don't know about that one, though. You know, I really don't. Again, they want to give Priscilla that third win in a row. Priscilla Cachoeira maybe is better than both Chelsea. Actually, I'd say she is better than Chelsea Chandler. And Tamaris Vidal, maybe not as physical anymore at 36 years old, but technically, just skill-wise, yeah, definitely better. Elijah Smith versus Toshiomi Kazama. Up next, Toshiomi Kazama, I think, is a dude that is kind of known for being finished in the UFC. He was on road to UFC. Man got packed out by Rinya Nakamura, packed out by Garrett Armfield. A win over Charalampos Gregorio is not too impressive to me, although I do think he was an underdog in that fight. Pause. Elijah Smith on a 5-fight win streak, 8-1 as a professional. Win over Vince Morales isn't the worst. Bigger than Toshiomi Kazama. I will rock with Elijah Smith. I'm going to go with him by decision, actually. This one concerns me a little bit. I could kind of see an upset here. I think that despite... yeah. That was the thing that I thought about Elijah Smith. Despite Toshiomi Kazama getting smoked by multiple dudes and smoked in the UFC, having not the most appealing record and being on a bit of a skid, 2-3 in his last 5 fights, with all 3 of those losses coming by knockout. I can see why people are scared, but Toshiomi Kazama has straight up fought way better dudes, though, and it can't be compared, really. Like, starting in the UFC, the first dude Mans fought in the UFC was Rinya Nakamura. Then he fought Garrett Armfield, who is not that bad. Charalampos is probably the worst of the 3, but maybe not the worst. It's a little rough to say that. I would rate him the least of the three type shit in this little scaling here. And that is the fight that he won. That Toshiomi won. So I am going to go with Elijah Smith by decision. But I could see Toshiomi doing some spooky shit. I really could. Here we go. Julius Walker versus Rafael Sequeira. Rafael Sequeira, if you have not had the pleasure of watching this man fight, he is a sacrificial lamb. Okay, man gets sacrificed. Versus Ibo Hassan, he got violated, didn't get the chance to fight back. Modestas Bukauskas, same thing, man, just got dog walkied. I'm actually surprised that he's fighting again until I saw again. We're talking about rebuilding. This isn't really this is a rebuild, actually. Man lost to Alonzo Menafield, right? Julius Walker. That was tough. They want Julius Walker to knock Rafael Sequeira the fuck out in dramatic fashion. That's what I mean here. And I'm going to kind of guess that he does. I'm going to go with the round 1 KO TKO. Rafael Sequeira has not shown us anything. Unfortunately, this has kind of the spooky vibe of the upset. For some reason, Rafael Sequeira comes out looking like a new man. Man has been waiting. Man has been like playing the long game. Man's like tanked his odds to the extreme. And now he's going to bet on himself and like violate or some shit. I'm really concerned about that. I'm not joking about that. I'm not joking about that at all. Also, like I said, man got knocked out badly twice, had 2 bad performances straight up. You could have a good performance in the UFC and get knocked out, as funny as that sounds. It's hard as fuck to do, but you can't do that. Rafael Sequeira did not do that, though. Did not do that. They were bad losses. Moving on. Julius Walker pick is easy there. You really, if you go with Sequeira, you have to explain that. You're going to have to explain yourself. You can't just get away with that one. Moving on to Eric Anders versus Christian Leroy Duncan. We've talked about Eric Anders, your boy Eric Anders. Man has carved out a great career for himself as a mixed martial artist. Legitimately. Earns more and more respect from me that might be a little bit of an off way to put it, but I fuck with seeing Eric Anders. Funny enough, I fuck with seeing him more and more every time we see him fight. Man's actually put together some wins, yeah. Win over Jamie Pickett, which is win over Chris Weidman, which is a lot better, but that was what it was as well. Decision with Marc-Andre Barriault, spooky hours, smoked on Chris Dawkins, a loss to the Iron Turtle, Jun Young Park. That's okay. Christian Leroy Duncan, though, it's just his time. It's his time. It's his turn. Man's still 30. Fresh 30. A little bit bigger. Going to be faster. Going to be a bit more explosive, I think. I'm going to go with the round 1 KO TKO for Chris Duncan. Christian Leroy Duncan. Chris Duncan fought last week. Thank you for whoever liked the stream. Moving on. Miles Johns versus John Matsumoto. What's good, Ivaz? I hope I pronounced that correctly and I didn't butcher it. Making some picks and predictions for the upcoming UFC fights tomorrow. Gone through the card a little bit at Miles Johns versus John Matsumoto. This should be good, actually. It should be quite good. Should be quite good. I'm going to go with John Matsumoto. I already knew I was going with this man, John Matsumoto. Young buck John Matsumoto. Young prospect. Damn, I forgot he lost his last fight to Rob Font. Yeah, Rob Font had to do it to him. That was not pleasant, actually. That was really not pleasant. Hopefully, man learned a lot from that loss, though. That's going to be kind of what I'm relying on here for John Matsumoto. Miles Johns. They've kind of had similar careers. I think Oliveira should violate. Unless, let me hold off for 1 second. I think Oliveira should win in decisive fashion. Unless Oliveira's chin is just done. Unless he's just done. Unless Ilya and I remember hearing a spooky rumor. Actually, I didn't look too much into it. Man's getting possibly KO'd in the gym. But yeah, if Oliveira's chin is done, then maybe not. It might get a little wild in there. Then Fiziev has a real chance. It's not like Fiziev is a bum. Charles is just that good. He is actually that good. He just got smoked by someone equally. Well, he got smoked by someone better, in fact. John Matsumoto, very well all around. Maybe could use a little bit more bite in the punches. Miles John's maybe a little bit bigger than John Matsumoto. Tapology is going overwhelmingly with John Matsumoto, actually. I think Miles Jones has a little bit bigger of a chance to win this fight. Do I see John Matsumoto getting a finish here? If he does, I think it will be by submission. But I'm probably going to go by decision, honestly, because Miles Jones is a bit of a workhorse. Man, will push it. Lost to Felipe Lima in his last fight, but Felipe himself is actually not bad. Tough. I'll go with John Matsumoto by decision. Moving on. Andre Touchy-Feely, we meet again. Always a pleasure to see this man, Andre Feely, fight versus the prospect killer, C-Rod, Christian Rodriguez. Holy shit. Holy shit. That is a holy shit moment. C-Rod moving up, right? They forced this little rat to move up in weight. Yes, this is a featherweight bout. They forced the little rat up. Andre Feely unfortunately got choked out by Milk Coffee. That was spooky hours. God, the Dan Ige shit made me sad for Andre Feely, but fuck it. C-Rod himself actually on a bit of a skid. Man's 2-3. I mean, 3-2 actually in his last 5 fights, but 1-2 in his last 3. Smoked on Austin Bashi because Austin Bashi is really not that good. Milk Coffee also beat C-Rod though. Huh. I low-key think Andre Feely should be the underdog here just because of a little bit of age and mileage difference. But, damn, Andre Feely's actually way bigger than C-Rod as well. I'm going to go with Andre Touchy-Feely. One more time, man. One more time. Fuck, actually. That felt wrong. Though. That shit kind of felt wrong, though. Fuck it. I might have to go with this man, C-Rod. If C-Rod can work the takedowns, just get this man, Andre Feely, down again. He'll be fine. He also maybe KOs Andre Feely, You know. Moving on. Asman Lucindo versus Angela Overkill Hill. Again, there's not going to be there's not going to be much breakdown or analysis to this one, really. I'm going to go with Angela Hill. I'm going to go by decision. This is kind of an emotional pick, or it is really an emotional pick. I'm going to go with Angela Hill every time she fights, for as long as she's fighting. I'm going to back her, bet on her, coming in at 40 years old, 6 months. Nowhere near old in real life, but a little bit long in the tooth in the fighting world. Asman Lucindo coming in at almost half of her age at 23 years old. But for 23, she's racked up some fights. She has 23 fights, 17-6 as a professional as Asman Lucindo. To Angela Hill's 18-14 as a professional fighter. Granted, these chicks have had some difference of fights in the UFC. UFC record's a lot different. Tapology going with Aspen Lucindo. But giving Angela Hill respect, actually. I fuck with that. Angela Hill has won some big fights that really people did not expect her to recently. The Mackenzie Dern shit, that was a robbery. The Tabitha Ricci shit, that was a robbery. She actually should be, Angela Hill should, no bullshit, be on a 5-fight winning streak. But smoked on Denise Gomez. Luana Pinedo finished her dumbass. Ketlin Souza, get the fuck out of here. Angela Hill is really like that. A lifetime of martial arts has come, and it's come to fruition. It's paid off for her. It's paid off for her. A legitimate, one of the best women's mixed martial artists, I think, around. Low key. I'm a big fan. And shout out Evolution Muay Thai. Moving on to the co-main event. That was the featured fight of the night. Aspen Lucindo versus Angela Hill. On to the co-main event of Steve Erceg versus Ode Osborne. Again, we're talking about rebuilding. They really want to rebuild Steve Erceg. There was a point where Steve Erceg was fighting for the belt. Ben-Man was fighting Alessandro Costa and Matt Schnell, getting some finishes, getting back. Man KO'd Matt Schnell and acted like hot shit. That was actually insanity to me. Retired Matt Schnell. Matt Schnell retired and came back, if I'm not mistaken, after that shit. Matt Schnell legitimately retired and came back after getting knocked out by Steve Erceg. He was crying. He didn't give a little speech, just tossed his gloves and walked out as soon as he got KO'd by Steve Erceg. Steve Erceg looked at him, walked off nonchalantly or some shit. What's good, Jesus? Doing the picks and predictions. But Steve Erceg went from fighting for the belt to fighting some midi dudes to then going on a 3-fight losing streak. Whoa. To getting knocked out bad by Kai Kara France, packed out. Oh my God, that gave me pleasure. Great joy. Losing to Alexandre Pantoja for the belt. Yeah, that is what it is. Getting smoked on by Kai Kara France. That can't happen. Come on now. Kai Kara France, high-level gatekeeper. Brandon Moreno. That loss actually isn't the worst. None of those losses are bad. Realistically, none of those losses are bad. But the facts are what they are. Man is fucking on a 3-fight losing streak. Next Saturday. This Saturday it shall be Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. One of the craziest dudes in the UFC, low-key, actually. And a little fun fact about this man, Anthony Hernandez. We share the same birthday. Anthony Hernandez and I are born on the same day. Now, I was saying the theme for this card is rebuilding. The theme is rebuilding. The UFC is trying to rebuild multiple fighters. I will kind of give a quick little recap on that. And what do I mean by the rebuilding? We've seen redemption cards trying to redeem guys. This is not redemption. This is just they're rebuilding. Redemption would be a still tough, equally tough matchup. And that's not to get disrespectful and be like, these people are bums, they're sacrificial lambs, even though I've literally said that about some of them. But these fights are quietly and kind of blatantly just, knock this guy out, finish this chick, get your career back on track. Cody Brundage, they want him back. Gabby, they want a reward. Uros, they want a reward. Jocelyn, they wanted to reward Jocelyn Edwards, but also her fights fell out, so worked out either way for her. Elijah Smith and Toshiomi Kazama, they're cool with whatever happens in that one. They're actually cool with whatever happens in that one. Julius Walker versus Rafael Cerqueira. The only reason like I said, it's actually confusing that Rafael Cerqueira is still in there. Talking about Howard Stern, or are you talking about Sirius, the radio, Sirius XM getting rid of Howard Stern? Well, I really don't. No, bro. Jesus never apologized. Whatever thoughts you have, bro, let him off in here. You more than earned that, bro. I'm gonna say I don't want to disappoint you, unfortunately, just because I don't really listen to the radio. Yeah, that's I don't really listen to the radio that much. I am familiar with Howard Stern. I never really listened to the Howard Stern show or his new stuff on Sirius XM. But I'm surprised, actually. I would assume that Howard Stern, just from like legacy, like how much of an influence the dude was in the world of like radio and I guess like not podcasting. In fact, if I remember correctly, dude has actually spoken out against podcasting. No, I don't think I have actually. I'll look that up though. Private parts. Interesting, actually. I've only seen some clips and stuff like from the Howard Stern show. I never really watched it. Never listened to it. Just some famous segments, I guess. Like a lot of like the fucking Beetlejuice segments. That man Beetlejuice. The one spooky segment that some people talk about where there was like a serial killer that like called into the show. Or it was a dude that claimed that he was a serial killer. He was like, yo, I kill prostitutes. Like I murder women. I kill women or some shit. Like he was calm about it though. He was like, yeah, I kill women. You know, that's what I do. Nah, bro. Jesus, bro, please, bro. I enjoy talking about whatever with you guys. I like talking to you. Again, you see people come in when I'm streaming the fights. When we're doing fight companions, we talk about whatever. It's calm to talk about whatever in the chat. It's not only MMA. I literally just love talking to you guys, for real. Whatever. That's why I'm trying to do more streams with more with other things, you know, just in general, because I do fuck with the chat. Of course, bro. Of course. A little hit from the bong, but that shit was spooky. If you know what I'm talking about, Jesus. The shit where a dude claimed to be a serial killer and he called into the Howard Stern show. That shit was wild. There's also a degenerate. I don't even know if I should talk about this on stream. There's a woman that was on the Howard Stern show, or maybe not even on it. She might have been on it like literally one time. What's good, Machiavelli? Doing some picks and predictions, brother. Talking about the Howard Stern show right now, though. A couple spooky things. Are you back from work? Yeah, you remember that, Jesus. You remember what I'm talking about, right? That shit was spooky. And Howard is like, are you serious? Are you being for real? You're not joking. He says some shit like that. But the only little, I'm actually a little bit maybe more familiar with Howard Stern than I realized because of this man Charlemagne the God. If you're a big radio listener, Jesus, Charlemagne the God, radio personality, also hosting the Brilliant Idiots podcast. The Brilliant Idiots podcast, I will give a shout out to. I love the fucking Brilliant Idiots podcast. I've been listening to the Brilliant Idiots podcast, which is hosted by Andrew Schultz and Charlemagne the God, since I was in high school, since I was a boy, a teenager. Not crazily, but I know little tidbits of lore. I'll get to the shit about the woman that I was talking about in a sec too. But Charlemagne has talked about Howard Stern plenty of times. Charlemagne himself is a radio guy, you know. Fuck with Charlemagne the God. But again, I don't watch like Breakfast Club or any of the radio shows. I really don't listen to anything like that or watch anything like that. But what was I going to say? Oh, the woman. So the woman shit is, this is like a crazy rabbit hole that you can fall down. I don't even know how I found this shit. I like try to not tell people about this shit because it's like embarrassing. I feel like if people find out that you watch it. But there was a woman who used to date a dude apparently on the Howard Stern show named Benji. The guy that she dated was called Benji or something. I don't know. He was a producer or a writer. He was on the show, worked in the show in some capacity. He was affiliated with the Howard Stern show. And this chick, her name is Elisa Jordana. I don't know if that rings a bell for you. She's been like a streamer, right? An IRL streamer, a lot in real life live streamer. But she's like a degenerate live streamer. Like she's like with these people that are just like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's actually kind of hellish. It's nightmarish. It's dark. It's very fucking dark. Actually, you might have heard. I don't know if you heard this. If you look up something like this, I'm actually. I really don't mean to offend you, Jesus. Now I'm scared. I'm gonna start apologizing, bro, because this is gonna get really dark. If you look up some shit, if you know the chick that I'm talking about, you look up something like this. I'm gonna delete this in a second. Something like that, like you'll see like some like crazy video, crazy shit. People were talking about that a little bit, but apparently she dated a dude who was on the show. That's where I'm going with all of this in a roundabout way. It's funny how things are connected, but some spooky shit. But yeah, the serial killer dude. And I really, besides that, that's like the only stuff I know from the Howard Stern show. The other shit that I know is really it's stuff that I've heard about, rather, not seen, consumed with my own eyes or ears. Like, man, having like porn stars come on the show, like having them like go crazy. I don't want to get crazy on this stream, on this early stream, but go crazy essentially on the radio, on live radio, hot mic. Spooky hours. That's real spooky hours. Real spooky hours. Again, I apologize actually for the fucking crazy rant. That was me getting crazy. Holy shit. That was me getting crazy. We shall return to the picks and predictions in one sec. But yes, that's the extent of my Howard Stern knowledge. I'm trying to remember if there's any last little thing. No, that's pretty much it. Oh, my back. Shit's crazy. I should have even talked about that, TBH. Because that shit is trashy. It's like it's trash streaming. Tay, what's good, brother? What's going on, man? Bro, I missed you yesterday. Yesterday we were streaming crazy, bro. Yesterday we had the experimental Skyrim streams. Holy. That shit was popping off in chat. Also, Jesus, you hopped out of there, but bro, yo, you guys, it was insane, man. Fire, Tay, fire. Oh, that's good. That's good shit, Jesus. Get that fucking money, bro. Do your thing, bro. Thank you all for tuning in. No, I'm glad. We had some technical difficulties. Stream was crashing and shit a little bit, but I was trying to get it all fixed up, get everything working. That was the multi-stream, because I have to stream it through Twitch. I'm streaming essentially from my Xbox One, to Twitch through Twitch app on Xbox on console. And then through that streaming to light streams, or not light streams, excuse me, to Streamlabs, which then also streams it to YouTube. Nah, tomorrow's fire. Tomorrow's going to be fire. Tomorrow is going to be all right, actually. There might be a lot of finishes. The more I think about it, tomorrow might actually just be all right. Tomorrow is Anthony Hernandez versus Roman Dolidze. Thank you guys for the comparisons. You guys are way too kind. Thank you guys just for even hopping in. Seriously. But no, that shit was fire. Bro, there was points yesterday during the Skyrim stream. At the peak concurrent viewers that I had was 29. There were 29 fucking people in this motherfucker. Now, it was a little strange, actually, because of those 29 people, no one was talking. There was like one person, there was like two people talking. You would recognize my boy. It was my boy El Tigre, the tiger. He was talking. He was like, yo, we got 29 people in chat. What's up with that? Like, but like no one was talking. It was a little crazy. Mans might have fallen asleep because I also didn't realize how late it was. It was like 2 a.m., 1 a.m. for me. And but it was fire. It was fucking fire, bro. It was fire. That's it, bro. Tay, I was also thinking about you, bro. I was thinking about, like, just taking it a little bit more seriously. A little bit more effort. Just a little bit more effort here and there. Similar to the running, If you do too much, you will burn out. It'll be clipped. It will be clipped. But just a little bit, like an extra 10%. An extra 10% here and there adds up. Like in all things in life type shit. But we shall get back to the picks and predictions in a second. That shit hit, bro. It hit. I actually couldn't believe. Nah, thank you, Tay. You guys are way too kind. But I couldn't believe at how successful the gaming stream was. Successful in terms of viewership. Again, I have to get my connection down because I'm also working with a totally wireless setup. That's to pull back the curtain a little bit. A totally wireless setup. My Xbox is wireless. Wireless Wi-Fi. That's what I mean. I don't have any Ethernet cable or anything, which ultimately fucks me a lot. But I'm gonna look into that. And then my Mac, obviously wireless. For work right now, nothing. Oh, but actually, last time I don't think I said it. Last time I said, if you were wondering what I did for work before, though, my last job. I was gonna ask if people want to guess, but some people might know. Actually, I might have mentioned it to some people. I was a cook. I was cooking up. We need to cook, Jesse. We need to cook. That's what people would be like. Yo, Cole, we need to cook. I'd be like, all right, let's cook. Would I cook ever again, professionally? Fuck no. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. Nah, not fuck that shit. It really wasn't that bad. It was just like, it was hell, and it actually was a little stressful, even though it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. It was just tedious, and it got a little stressful sometimes. Sometimes it was really nonstop. Hell yeah, no, I know how to cook I almost said I know how to cook for real. I'm not a chef. Again, I do make that clarification. Sometimes my friends in real life will say that. They'll be like, yo, like, my boy's a chef. And I'll be like, I am not a fucking chef. I'm a cook. Like, damn, my son does it all. But that is fire. I'm also on break right now, Machiavelli. I'm on break. I'm a student. Primarily, I'm a student right now. Student chilling in the crib. I am a little older, but still. Going back, getting it done. Hell yeah, Ty. Hell yeah, Nakmon. It's good to hear. Oh. I was about to say something on the tip of my tongue. Slid off. Oh. What was it about? Cooking. The cooking shit was... Those were the days, actually. I actually got a little... not too fucked up. I got burned bad once. The scars have actually pretty much faded. But actually, I burned my fucking... Yeah, no. That's the beginning of all of it, though. There is an element of doing it for free, But eventually, need the subs to go up. Once we get to 500 subs, juicy, tremendous. Because my watch hours are actually going up tremendously just from streaming alone. But nah, I got a couple bad burns from cooking. Not pleasant. Funny enough, the worst burn I got was not from actually cooking itself. It was from cleaning the grill. Like, I had the grill hot, and I was cleaning that shit. Oh! Bro, I appreciate it, Tay. No, dude. Yeah, no, I got burned a couple times. I've racked it up. I've gotten the subs up. And we actually got some subs in the last stream, which was good. We got some subs, and we got follows on Twitch. That was the thing. We got... Actually, yeah, I didn't even peep the rhyme there. Bro, there was a point where I was actually getting follows on Twitch. There were people watching on Twitch. Like I said, it was the multi-stream. There was a point where there were 6 people in the Twitch and like 20 people in YouTube. It was juicy as fuck. The peak though was like I said, like 29 people in YouTube. Maybe I think there was actually, I don't think there was anyone in Twitch at that time. It was just one, me. But for 30 total viewers, that's literally like triple what my highest is like recently, like at any point. I fuck with that Machiavelli. My son Machiavelli, even his name is the Tupac reference somewhat. Crack rock. Cheers, lads. Also, about the gaming stream, I thought Skyrim was the perfect choice. Skyrim was the perfect choice because I hate, yeah. All right, no more. I was like, damn, the bong be looking dirty on camera. Makes me look like a bummy little rat. But I will keep that in mind. I'll have to hide. I'll duck right here. What was I about to say? But yeah, Skyrim is like the comfort game. You know, it's a lot of people's comfort game. You know, you can throw that on. People are relaxing. They want to see it. It comforts them. It calms them. No spliffs. No spliffs. I know y'all say spliff just to mean a joint. A spliff in America means weed, means marijuana, cannabis, and tobacco. No. That's a no. That's a no tobacco. No tobacco for me. I'm not on that. I'm not on that. No tobacco. No tobacco. UK people be like, holy shit. English people, fucking Welsh people be like, that's actually not true. That's another thing. That's another thing. European heads be like, yo, 80% weed, 20% tobacco. Cap. Every time I smoke with a European motherfucker, it's the other way around. That should be like 20% weed, 80% tobacco. And I'm like, the split, the weed is the spliff. The weed is the spliff to them. That's the thing. Thank you, Machiavelli. That's what I'm saying. Every time I've spoke to the European motherfuckers, they put 20% weed, bro. They put 20% weed. I swear to God. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? You guys want to smoke a cigarette? Smoke a cigarette. Stop this. Stop this shit. Literally smoke the cigarette, take one hit of the bong, and you'll be good. Take a hit of a pipe or some shit. No, I fuck with that though, I fuck with that. See, that's the American spliff. The American spliff is 80% weed, 20% tobacco. Something like that. Maybe even 90-10. What if I told you that? What if I told you that 80-20 is a heavy spliff to Americans? Holy shit. I really don't smoke tobacco. But I mean, I feel like it's kind of the same as other places. Like, I've smoked cigarettes before, and I've smoked tobacco, but I've smoked like, in my whole life, I've smoked like less than like 2 packs of cigarettes, 3 packs of cigarettes type shit. Which I used to actually, that was something to be proud of for me, because I used to jack. I was like, yo, I've smoked like less than 1 pack of cigarettes, less than 20 cigarettes in my whole life for a hot minute. But then went on a couple trips with with my boys and racked them up playing poker. I fuck with the cigarette. I'm not gonna lie. If I'm playing poker and drinking, or playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm going crazy as the dungeon master. Holy. Why are you sparring with the light gloves like that? Or you mean you're sparring with the MMA gloves? Calmly. Okay, I see. Yeah. Thought you're talking about the little. They still are MMA, I think, but like the one that I think actually one uses. You know what I'm talking about? They look like mittens almost. But I guess those are technically MMA gloves. I think they have the open palm. Nah, that's a dude ripping you to the body. That's a guy literally ripping you to the body, like almost bare knuckle. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dudes try. People try. It's just hard. Obviously, you know. Yeah. To the body. To the body. To the body. Holy. Fucking 5% weed spliff. Crazy. That is EU shit. No, that's EU shit. The EU shit is dead ass like 20-30% weed. Nah, you can learn how to kick properly. All of it is technique. It's all technique. Because some of it is quite literally unnatural. Like, to throw a high kick, to kick someone in the head, right? That is unnatural. Standing up. That's not like a natural like movement kind of. You could try it, but it's refined. It's refined. It's all refined. It's technique. You might it depends on coordination, I guess. It really that question kind of goes deep depending on how you look at it. And people's builds, yeah. As Nakma was saying, builds definitely help. Builds definitely help. I feel like my legs aren't necessarily long per se, but I'm not a short guy myself. I'm not a huge guy. I'm not a huge guy either. I'm 6 feet tall, if anybody's ever wondered. Just a flat 6 feet. Just chilling. Bro, that's actually dark lore. There's dark lore, not dark lore around the 6 feet, but my sensei giving the coaching in chat. Early on when I first started live streaming on this channel and doing fight companions, there was a guy who hopped in the chat, right? Damn, I don't know if I can remember his name. He had a regular name. His username was his name. It was like his Google account. And instantly he was on some weird shit, right? Man was asking me like a whole bunch of questions about, he was like, yo, how big are you? Like, how big are you? How much do you weigh? Like, how tall are you? Blah, blah, blah. Like, do you train? Have you ever trained before? Like, all this shit. And he was like, When I would answer him, he'd be like, yeah, sounds good. And all the way at the end, man's only throwing soccer kicks. I fuck with that. Shit's effective. All the way at the end, though, like, he said something. He was like, yeah, I got it. Or some shit like that, I think. I was like, what do you mean by that? He was like, I could take you. Like, I could beat the shit out of you. Like, I could beat the fuck out of you. I was like, what? Dude was actually spooking me. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, bro, I'm going to pull up on you. You're in New York? I'm going to pull up on you. I was like, holy shit. Man was like, I'm going to pull up on you and beat the shit out of you. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I think man said something about like Washington Square Park, and that was hilarious to me. If you're from New, no, he had me spooked for a second. I was like, yo, shit. Like now I'm gonna have to watch my back. I was like dead ass thinking that. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to watch my back and really get ready. Possibly even walk with a blade on me. Like that wouldn't be the first time that actually I was thinking about that. Nah, it just caught me off guard because he was like chilling. I was like, yo, are you watching the fights? He was like, yeah. And then he was just asking these questions. And I was like, all right. And he said some other shit, and then I was like, bro, you don't want that. I was like, you don't want this to happen. Like this shit's gonna be scary. It's gonna be real spooky hours. I was spooked though. I dead ass was a little spooked. I was like, damn, I'm really gonna have to watch my back or something. But then man started talking about like Toronto. He was like, oh, I'm in Toronto. Like, I'm gonna make the trip. And then I was like, all right. Man's literally chatting, but then he was on it though. Man was actually on it. Nah, he deadass was on. He was on it though. He was like, yo, I'm gonna find you. He was like, I'm gonna find you. He was like, yo, you gotta watch your back too. Eventually, he started saying shit like that. He's like, you gotta watch your back. And my boy was here. You've seen him in chat. My boy, Aaron. You've seen this guy. Aaron Guzman is you've seen him in chat. He was here though. He was in my crib. He was actually on stream. He wasn't on stream. He was off camera. He was sitting right here on this black couch watching the fights with me. And he saw this fucking guy chatting, going crazy. And I was like, huh. Man, it had me crazy. I was just like staring at the chat. I was like, that shit was crazy. And that was one of the first streams that got like bigger. It wasn't, no, it was like a weird kind of scary. It was like, I was just like, yo, like, is this dude being dead ass? Like, am I really gonna have to watch my back on some shit like that? Like, that shit just had me fried. It had me fried a little bit. I was just like smoke coming out of my ears. It was just like my brain was just like, if someone said that, no, that's the thing. If someone said that to me online, and then I was walking downtown, I was walking around outside. I've also had a thought that I know that you'll agree with, Tay. I've thought about this too. Anybody that's trained or done anything, that you'll understand this too. But if I was walking around downtown, right, after someone said some shit in the chat one day when I'm streaming, and then I heard someone reference that like someone there, like, yo, I'm here. Turn around. It's fucking, this is a warning now. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. I might not attack you instantly. I might actually turn around and like give you a real good look. But like, if it's at night and you're super close to me, whoa, boy. Whoa, buddy. Whoa, buddy. Whoa, buddy. Whoa, buddy. That's going to be spooky hours. That's going to be spooky hours. Nah, I might not attack you instantly. I might give you a little, whoa. But if I'm spooked, if I'm scared, yeah, I can't let you get close. Deadass. If I'm scared, I can't let you get close. I can't let you get close. I can't. That shit was spooky. That was another thing, actually. That was, oh god. That I'll save that story maybe for another time for the fight stream. But that was a time where there was this dude. There was a dude that was not giving me problems really. He wasn't giving me any problems per se, but there was a homeless guy that was on my block, and man would just always fucking panhandle, always ask me for money. And then he got aggressive with it, and eventually I got tight. One day. Like, I didn't have that. But before that, it lasted also a long time. This lasted like a year and a half. And eventually I started carrying the blade with me. I was like, fuck that. This might get to a point where I actually have to stab this dude. And thank God it never came to that. But that was also scary. That was also very scary. And then I saw him way later, years later after that. No, I had it with me. It wasn't anything crazy. And again, I'm not looking to do anything to anybody, of course. This makes me sound like a crazy fucking psychopath. But it was actually a self-defense situation. It was on some London shit. It was like I was in London. I had the blade with me. I had the pokey with me like I'm in London. Mopop, what's good, bro? Talking about some spooky stories. That's what I say during the stream. No, when I'm chilling here talking to you guys, it feels literally like you guys are like in my crib on my couch, like I'm talking to you guys, like I'm chilling with my friends, I'm chilling with my boys. But yeah, this guy would keep on panhandling. He would always ask me for money, and he would be right outside my fucking apartment building, right? And I would always think to myself too. I'd see him late at night. I'm like, yo, if this dude asks like my mom or my pops or fucking like my sister, my kid sister for money, like, and he's aggressive with me, and not aggressive. He's not like, give me money, give me that shit. It's aggressive as in aggressively pulling you into a social interaction. Like, he's going to try to shake your hand. If he shakes your hand, he's going to pull you in, something like shit like that. And I was still young. I wasn't like a kid. I was like, damn, I don't remember how old I was. Maybe 20, 19. And I'm going to get to that, Ty. In the beginning, when I first started seeing this dude, I hadn't started training. I hadn't started training martial arts. But then, like, actually, like, shortly after I ran into this dude, I started training, and I was training consistently. I was doing Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. And I was in shape. Like, if you look on my Twitch shit, you can see me. I weigh about 205 pounds, give or take 5 pounds. No, I am heavy. I'm 100% overweight. I'm 100% overweight. Light heavyweight. I would be a light heavyweight right now if someone were to force me to fight. If you were to force me to fight. Something like that. I'm not sure about the kilo transfer exactly, but yeah, something like that. No, I definitely am. It's not crazy, but I definitely am a little bit. But I have been running and working out more, trying to get back into it. But where was I? Oh, yes, I had started training, right? And I had that in the back of my mind, but I was never the guy. I was never gonna be like, yo, like I'm fucking doing martial arts now. Now I'm gonna pick fights. Now I'm gonna beat the shit out of people. Like, like I'm gonna really put some pain down. Like, no, never that. Never that. But I kept on seeing this guy just ever so often. I was ready. I was really ready. It got to a point where I was ready. That's why I'm saying I say that. That's what and you know what I'm talking about, Tay. And I would also think about it. That reminds me of spooky thoughts that I've had too about like when I started training at the gym, like when I would go crazy too, I would leave the gym so fucking tired, right? And I would think to myself, and this was when I got a little nicer. I would think to myself, damn, if someone picked a fight with me now, though, if they tried to rob me or something just with their fists, right as I'm getting out of the gym, I would be fucking helpless. I'd be a victim. I'd be a complete victim. No, I'm not skinny. I would be like, damn, and I think about that now when I run. When I hit like the long run, when I hit like over a 6 mile run, which I hope puts it in perspective for you guys when I tell you, I'd be hitting these long runs. I'm a big lad hitting those long runs. Like, I'm still I've always been in shape. I've been a big guy my whole life, but I've always been in shape. I always played sports. I did martial arts, obviously, when I was older, but I always played sports as a child, both organized sports and recreational sports, and pretty much all sports. I haven't uploaded the basketball footage yet, but I put that up, and yeah, the martial arts was different. I was going crazy in that shit. I was going crazy a little bit in the Muay Thai and the Jiu-Jitsu. That shit was gas. The jiu-jitsu was also fire. I had such a fire little training journey there because I joined the gym at the same time as this dude. His name was Corey. This black guy named Corey. And he was like my size, like my height, but he wasn't overweight. He was actually in good ass shape. I was actually gonna say that's relatively my move. I always fucked with the teeps, but actually I would say either a 1-2, no bullshit, or actually no, I'm gonna give you 3. Just a straight up 1-2. A left high kick. I fuck with the teeps, bro. I fuck with the kicks. I be kicking shit. I used to kick shit like that. If you look on my Twitch, it's a kick. It's kind of a left high kick. If you look on my Twitch, it's literally that. Just a little left kick. And the third would probably be like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? I can't. Maybe not anymore. It's actually been a while, but I used to be able to kick people literally my height. If you're 6 feet or around 6 feet, I can crack you. I can straight up crack you. That's what you might think, but I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact. What was I going to say, though? Adrenaline, yeah, but I would just be so fucking exhausted. I think about that after the runs, too. If someone called me now, I'd be fucking helpless. Fucking helpless. What was I saying after that? I was going to say something else. Man asked me to go to moves and explosives. Nah, it's okay. You still are. It's just training. I do have to get back into it. I'll pull out my gloves. I'll show you some gloves and shit. Holy shit. Jaw broken is spooky hours. I've never gotten my jaw broken. I've never gotten actually hurt from strikes. Hurt really bad. Send me the links on Discord, Tay. Send me the links on Discord. We'll peep something. Because there's actually multiple. There's actually a couple fighters. There's a dude who pulled up to the Skyrim streams. Man, was one of the OG fighters actually that pulled up to the channel. AME fighters that have pulled up to the channel. Man actually just lost his fight recently by sub, but it's okay. It's okay. It'd be like that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was gonna say we'll try to get like we could get like a stream or a video possibly. Yeah, hell yeah. But send me that shit. Send me the shit, Ted, that you want me to react to. I'll put it in something like that. The worst damage I've received from the Skyrim thing, that was an experiment, like I said. Oh, Skyrim. You don't know what Skyrim is? Skyrim is a video game by Bethesda. They made like Fallout, Oblivion, the Elder Scrolls. Are you familiar with any of those titles? It is in the sense that it's like open world. That Skyrim is a lot more of like an, I don't know if it's fun to say RPG, because low-key heads would say maybe even Red Dead is more of an RPG than Skyrim, but yeah, no, that is true. That is true. Some heads do have it though. Skyrim, I'm just surprised, because that's an old game. I feel like you would have played it when you were younger, Poss. That's fair. I only say I'm surprised because Skyrim is actually a fairly popular game. Fairly popular. Facts. I understand, Tay. But yeah, it's just like a medieval role-playing game. Open world role-playing game. But I chose it specifically because it's a lot of people's comfort game. They grew up playing that game. If they didn't grow up playing that game, they at least watched it, you know. Of course. But there is recreational, like, video games. People do enjoy watching people play video games. I wish I could set up, like, an IRL stream or something like that. I just don't know if I have the equipment for it right now, right at the moment. There were a couple games. Gonna switch it up next time. I wanted to play Silent Hill 3. Gonna start the Silent Hill 3 playthrough soon. Beat that a little bit. That's gonna be the next one, I think. Coming soon. Could do UFC. UFC's fun, but actually, I fuck with other fighting games. UFC as a fighting game is alright. It's cool. Sometimes it can be funny and crazy as like a party game, kind of, when people get KO'd. But if you want to know what fighting games I've played, actually, I fuck with Soul Calibur and Tekken. Shit's fire. Damn, this guy Machiavelli going crazy. Hell yeah. Not hell yeah, but hell yeah. This is actually deep lore. Everyone's giving the deep lore. This was deep lore about Cole, and the homeless guy lore is crazy. The homeless guy lore that I was saying is crazy, actually. I didn't finish that story, but that is insane to hear today. But either way, the deep lore is going down. I started carrying the piece. I shall finish it. I started carrying the piece. Just a little blade, a little poke you real quick. Because I was concerned that one day I was going to say no to this guy or tell this dude to fuck off. I was just at the point where I'd be like, yeah, just stop. Like, I'll just wave him off. Like, I wouldn't like violate him or anything, but I would barely interact with him, essentially. But he'd be on the corner, like less than like 50 to 75 feet away from my crib. And one day, and always at night, it would always be at night. And then it was for a period where I was seeing him like every day. And I was just tired of it. And another thing that made me so fucking upset, I am single. Another thing that made me so fucking upset, man, was every time this motherfucker would pull up on me and try to talk to me, he would act like he never spoke a word to me. You know, he acted like it was the first time he was speaking to me. He was like, "Oh, my man, like I don't know who you are, but blah blah blah." I might have to. I might have to take you up on that. I'm not joking about that, Machiavelli. I'd be with that, boss. Back shots galore. Brutal back shots, as we'd say on the channel. Holy shit. Algerian shorties. Oh my god. I'm gonna be chilling like Algiers. Whoa. Albert Camus flow. I'm scared, bro. Why are you saying that, Machiavelli? That's valid. Say that is how you should move, but just let it wash off. Damn, yo. Yo, you're hating, Tay. You're hating, bro. You're hating. I'm like, yo, good shit, Tay. Good shit. And then this man's like, nah, I doubt it. I doubt chicks would be on him. Like, god damn, bro. This shit crazy. Be your own mans. It really be your own mans. That shit crazy. I like to think that. Actually. But again, like you can kind of see it. I just have extra weight on me. But I'm not that bad. Oh. I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. And I do need to shave again. I actually prefer having the clean shave. I think it makes me look a little younger. No, I know. I appreciate it. I'm always joking around. I can take it. I promise you I can take it. If I couldn't take it, I would never turn this fucking stream on. I would never turn this camera on. You would never see any online presence from anybody named Cole. What was I about to say? Oh yes, I will finish it up super quick. I'll finish up the homeless man story. I do want to finish that. I was seeing this guy every day. This motherfucker was on me saying, "Oh, you know, like, can I get $20? Blah blah blah. What's good, man? Like, I know you don't know me. Holy shit. I'll save it, Jesus. Because it didn't get spooky, but the end actually came. The end came later. I'm gonna save it. It's not that crazy, but I will save it as a little cliffhanger. It's actually a good spot to say it because it's before the climax. Before, like, yeah, I'd say the climax. Yeah. Or actually, I will say the climax. It got to a point one day. This is when I was with my ex-girlfriend, right? I was a younger man. Towards the end of the time that I spent with my ex-girlfriend, we were going through it a little bit. I dipped out of my crib after fighting her on the phone. I do. We'll get back to it, but I dipped out of my crib after fighting on the phone with her. Reg shit. You know how it is. If you are both lucky and unlucky enough, you will know how it is. And it was daytime. It was rare that I saw him in the day, though, in the light of day. I pulled up out of my apartment, saw this man on the corner. It was daytime. Already pissed. That shit actually just pissed me off. Just seeing him. Like, I literally left, turned, saw him. I was tight. I was like, oh, this motherfucker's here now. And I actually didn't have it on me. I didn't have that little piece on me. But that's true. That's true, Tay. No, actually, I will say Tay is speaking facts. Tay is speaking facts. Tay is speaking facts. I saw this motherfucker. This guy comes up to me straight up, like I'm waiting for the light to turn, comes up to me, right on me, instantly goes into that spiel. Like, he doesn't recognize me. He doesn't know any of that shit. Asked me for the 20 beans. I'm like, fuck out of here with the 20 beans. And I thought that to myself, fuck out of here. I'm scared. Why are you scaring me? Why are you scaring me? Why are you scaring me, Machiavelli? I'll take it as a compliment. I take it as a compliment. I'm from New York. That doesn't offend me. I was thinking that to myself. Fuck this dude. Yeah, what the hell? That's a good shit. What the hell? Pause, pause. Man said pause. Man said pause. He said pause. He said pause. He said pause. He said pause. I don't remember if he said something immediately after that, though, but instantly I was just like, yo, fuck all that. I actually started speaking. I started not crashing out, but I was just tight. I was just tight at him. I was like, yo, bro, you gotta fuck off. Like, you gotta stop talking to me. Like, I don't want to see you here anymore. Like, I was just telling him, you gotta leave, like, this corner. Like, you gotta get the fuck out of my sight. That's what I was saying. I said to, like, some medieval lord. No, I will admit, though, I'm not used to heads being in the chat. It is good, though. I feel like I do adapt. I felt like a medieval lord. I was like, get out of my sight. Get the fuck out of my sight. And man started saying some shit to me. He was like, you don't know who I am, bro. Like, I be knocking motherfuckers out on the street on the daily. And I was like, what do you mean by that? Then I changed and I might have sounded crazy because I was really just repeating myself over and over. But I was like, what do you mean by that? What the fuck do you mean by that, bro? And then man was just staring at me as I was saying that. And he actually turned around. Man went off the block. And I didn't see him for many years until another day. But that's what we will save for the fight companion. Spooky hours. Thinking about that story is funny to me actually now, but that is true. But I feel like it's also a more intimate environment, a more intimate atmosphere with fewer people talking in the chat. No, I did. I appreciate it. And I always appreciate the constructive criticism. I take it fully. That's what he was saying. I appreciate that, Tay, actually. That's a good way to say it. That's what I was saying. That's what I was thinking. I was like, bro, like, man is always on this shit asking me for bread, right? The only time I say no in like a hostile manner is to be met with, you don't know who I am. I'd be knocking motherfuckers out on the block. Like, I'm like, bro, what does that mean? Why are you saying that now? Like, cue the fight music. Cue the fight music. Cue the fucking Skyrim fight music. Den-in-in. No, I literally was just yelling. I was just like repeating over and over on the corner. Some people were actually looking. I was just like, I was listening to him to his spiel. Man came up with me, had me pissed as a motherfucker, right? I was already pissed because I was in a fight with my girlfriend at the time. I might have even been on my way to go see her, actually. He started this shit up with me. Again, the shit that would always get me tight is he would act like he never knew me. He acted like he never knew me. That was always the shit that was bothering me. I listened to him a little bit, and something was just different about this day. I just told him, I was like, yo, bro, fuck off. I can't deal with this shit anymore. Like, you got to get the fuck out of here. I don't want to see you. Get out of my sight. Get the fuck out of my sight. And then man was looking at me. Then he went into the shit like, oh, bro, like, you don't know who I am. Like, I've knocked motherfuckers out who talk crazy. And I'm like, nah, bro, what do you mean by that? Literally, what do you mean by that? And I kept on saying that. I'm saying that with a smile now, but I was not smiling. I was not happy when this was going down. I kept on saying over and over, what the fuck do you mean by that? Man was just like staring at me, staring like through me. And then he turned around and he left. And he was a big dude. He was like maybe like an inch shorter than me. But he was actually he was like big though. Man was big. Man was big. And that's also why I actually carried the blade a little bit, because I was like, yo, like, again, it started when I was a younger man. I was still like a kid relatively, but like, I was thinking this might get graphic. This might get brutal, so to speak. Might get real graphic. Thank God it never came. I really thank God every single day it never came to that. Man turns around, walks away. And I didn't continue it. Like, actually, when he turned and he walked away, I kind of stopped. I just literally watched him just to make sure I didn't get, like, fucking attacked. Like, I literally just didn't start taking back shots on some crazy shit. And then, yeah, I didn't see him for a long time, many years, until another day when I was walking with my boys. And this wasn't on my block. Every other time I saw him, every single time I saw him, previously to that, to the year's gap, I saw him on my actual block, like I said, less than 100 feet from my crib, right? Like, if I took one step out of my building and I turned my head, I could see if he's there. And what that means is, maybe to put this in more perspective, what that means is every time I'm coming home, every single time I'm coming home, he's unavoidable. He's literally unavoidable. There's no way that I can go to him, that I can get to my apartment door, or my building door rather, unless I walk all the way around the fucking block to literally just get behind him because of the way he's standing. Like, I'm gonna walk past him every time. I'm not doing that shit. But then, yeah, walked him off the block. Or I didn't really run him off the block. I say that, but like, you know, like, talked him off the block. Man fled. I didn't see him for a long time. And then the next time I saw him, I had less patience for him. Even fucking less patience. The next time I saw him, I remembered him, and I was like, it's time. It's time. But again, we'll save that for tomorrow. You'll have to tune in tomorrow at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. my time to hear the rest of that one. Nah, next time I saw him, I had even less patience for him. I was with my boys, too, so actually, I felt crazy. I was like, it was crazy. I was like, all right. And the funniest part was I had told my friends the story. They thought the story was crazy. And then they were with me and they saw him. They saw us again. They saw me and him interact. And I was on some shit. I was like, I didn't go too crazy, but I was like, whoa. Never again. Like, even though I said not on my block, how about not within a 5-block radius? Fuck that. Now I'm actually like a medieval lord. This is like my territory, my fucking duchy. I'm the Duke of East Harlem. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It actually was kind of tough to tell the story, to not read the chat, not react to the chat as I told the story. But yes, that's the majority of I'm like reliving those events, kind of type shit. When I was telling that story, that might have been while I was spacing out, or it seemed like I was spacing out. But no, I was there. Damn, lag. Fuck. Bad vibes. Bad vibes. Spooky hours. That was a spooky hours encounter. Had a couple other spooky hours encounters, but that was the only one. Stream a lot more. The plan is a lot. I'll get into that later. Yes. Yes. I can answer that with yes. Many ideas. Honestly, the problem is actually really cutting them down and focusing on which ones I can actually do and execute, I think, well. The most recent endeavor being the multi-stream, obviously. Which it's because of my internet, I think, honestly, that it was being fried a little bit. Like I said. No, like I said, more gaming streams type shit. And there is one thing I've talked about it. I've hinted at it. I'm trying to film a short film, a very short film, a short horror film called The Loop. Very local. It might be starring me. Definitely it's going to be written and directed and maybe shot by me. It might be shot by my younger sister. But I'm trying to do that. I want to do that. I really want to do that bad. It's going to be super short, I think. Like maybe like 1-2 minutes. Like it would be very short. Very short. Very short. Very short. But that's something concrete. Let me think of some other thing. Oh, an official gaming stream. Again, I was playing Skyrim kind of as like a comfort game. That was kind of a last minute decision. But Silent Hill 3 stream. I want to hit that. I want to hit the Silent Hill 3 playthrough. I've never played that. Nice and spooky, but also kind of calm, relaxing. Some David Lynch vibes, okay. Like dreamlike. Oh yeah, we got good fights coming up. 23rd, I believe August 23rd is going to be spooky hours. It's going to be at an okay time for you guys. I guess EU heads might be working. Well, it is Saturday, but China card. What I'm referring to is the China card. The fights will be starting at 4 a.m. for me. Then that might be sleepy hours. Hopefully I don't fall asleep. I'm not joking about that. Early picks for the Kamzat card. I can tell you I'm going with this man, Dreykus. That's the early pick. We can actually do a little preview after we finish picking out the card for this. We are almost finished picking out the card for this. I will recap the card and then we can actually get back to that, as that is the intention of this stream. We did get a little bit off topic here and there, but I am glad. Thank you guys again for pulling up, for entertaining me. Really, you guys entertain me. It may feel like it's the other way around, but I promise you, it's not. First fight of the night, Cody Brundage. I was saying also, we want to get into themes. I like to say that there's themes of cards. If you've watched some of the videos, I've talked about themes of cards. Some of the themes have been redemption. Some of the themes have been sacrifice. Some of the themes have been actual war and chaos. The theme for this card is actually quite rare. It's rebuilding. What do I mean by rebuilding versus redemption? I think redemption is given when they give dudes on negative skids tough fights to bounce back. Fights that could go either way, but they're gonna redeem themselves through a tough fight. Rebuilding, I think, is the matchmaking is a little bit more blatant. I don't know if blatant's the right word, actually. Maybe even the opposite word, clandestine, kind of secret, kind of hidden. Matchmaking. Cody Brundage versus Eric McConaughey. Cody Brundage has been done dirty by the UFC. A lot of people shit on this man, Cody Brundage. Say he's dog shitty. I don't think so. I really don't think he's as dog shitty as people say. The Kamzat pick, to answer you, Machiavelli, is also valid. That's either, again, when It comes to dudes like Dreykus, especially who's fought recently, either pick is fine. Although I wonder if I can get another perfect Dreykus pick as the Dreykus versus Izzy. That was on video. Perfect pick. Perfect pick. Juicy, tremendous round 4 submission. Whoa. 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 That shit was crazy. Actually got me paid, too, if I remember correctly. This man, Cody Brundage. Some people would even jack Cody Brundage as a bit of a coward. I would not say that. But I will be jacking that Cody Brundage wins the fight. I'm going to say by decision. Funny enough, Tapology seems to think, also, I pick all my stats and I post the video. Got a little tongue-tied. The pictures that I embed in my videos with the fighter pages, I always take from Tapology.com. I just like the layout. I like the forum style of Tapology. I like that the pics are recorded there. I guess you could use other sites, but again, my Tapology is also linked in my YouTube channel, YouTube profile, YouTube main channel profile, in the links. If you're just familiar, if you just wanted to peep through. I will say though, if you dive deep in my Tapology page, you will see that some of my picks have not lined up, or they're not even complete. Like there's been cards where I've like literally forgotten to just make picks on Tapology. And I will always say this, the picks that I've said on YouTube, that I always say on YouTube, which have been recorded from the beginning, those are my picks. Those are my final picks. Machiavelli, brother, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you. Also, keep showing me to Algerian women. Tell Algerian women to hit me up on the channel, to hit me up online publicly, for real. That's how I'll know. That'll be a true sign of dedication and affection. That's what I'm gonna fuck with. But thank you, Machiavelli. Take care, brother. Take care. Moving on, Gabby Hernandez versus Julia Stoliarenko. Spooky hours. Julia Stoliarenko is 2-6 in the UFC. I don't think that she's going to be 3-6 after this one. This one, again, they want Gabby to get a nice, juicy win. They want Gabby to be 3-1. Thank you, Machiavelli. They want Gabby to be 3-0. Excuse me. They want Gabby to be on a 3-fight win streak. Julia maybe gets a sub, as I think Gabby will take her down to the ground and try to submit Julia. And she's going to look very strong while she does it. But maybe Julia slides out and gets a little sub of her own. I am going to go with Gabby Hernandez by decision, though, funny enough. I could see the submission. I am hesitant a little bit just because Stoliarenko does do jiu-jitsu. You know, it's not like she doesn't do jiu-jitsu. She does jiu-jitsu. But also Gabby gasses a wee bit. Moving on. Uros Medic versus Gilbert Urbina. This should be a good fight. I'm expecting someone to get finished, and I'm expecting someone to get finished early in Medic versus Urbina. I'm going to side with Uros Medic to get it done by KO TKO in round 1. Spooky exchange, similar to Gilbert's last fight versus Chuck Buff, Charles Radke. Man got into a little firefight early, lost, got rocked, bad. And then I think Chuck Buff got rocked by Carlos Prates, but Gilbert's going to be the bigger man. I don't know how much that's going to help him, actually. Uros is nice like that, actually, and he's won fights, come back, and violated in fights that he was getting hurt in. Unfortunately, got murked by Punahele Soriano in his last outing, but that was needed for Punahele Soriano. Moving on. Uros Medic, round 1 KO TKO pick. Jocelyn Edwards versus Priscilla Cachoeira. Priscilla Cachoeira actually stunned a lot of people. Big knockout and comeback for her career in her last fight versus Josiane Nunes. Before that was on a 2-fight losing skid by subs to Miranda Maverick and Jasmine Jazz Divigius. Those actually are decent losses. Those are not bad losses. But I feel like people that had seen Priscilla fight knew the form that she was in, knew that she was really... It seemed like she was on her way out. She was looking worse and worse with every fight. But that knockout was crazy. That uppercut just tapped Josie on the chin, knocked her the fuck out. Face forward, if I remember correctly. Maybe back, but either way, that shit was spooky hours. Jocelyn Edwards, however, younger and has been waiting for a fight. Priscilla Cachoeira is a late notice replacement. I forget for who. But Jocelyn La Pantera Edwards has been waiting to fight. She's been fiending to fight. And I'm going to go with her by decision. Maybe she gets a KO TKO here, depending on how Priscilla Cachoeira looks. If not, Priscilla Cachoeira at least tanks shit. That's the thing, though. The tanking, like when people have chins and they tank shit, that actually leads me to believe that the opponent is going to get a KO TKO rather than the shit goes to decision. But I will be going with decision. Jocelyn Edwards by decision. Moving on, Elijah Smith versus Toshiomi Kazama. The UFC is actually content with whoever wins here. Whoever wins here. They hope it's Elijah Smith, I think, but Toshiomi has honestly, despite his record being worse, he's fought better dudes. He's straight up fought better dudes. There's no real comparison to it, in fact. And did get a nice finish in his last fight. Man was on a 2-fight KO losing streak before that. I'm going to go with Elijah Smith by decision here. But the more I think about it, the more I really do want to pick Toshiomi Kazama. The thing is, Elijah Smith is bigger, a little younger. I think Elijah Smith is going to be a lot greener, a lot more inexperienced, and maybe even less technical, for real. I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the chin of Kazama. I'm concerned about the physicality of Smith. I'm going to go with Elijah Smith by decision. I don't want to say I'm playing it safe, but like that's just what I feel like I am. But moving on. Julius Walker versus Rafael Cerqueira. If you've seen Rafael Cerqueira fight, you might literally be wondering why he's fighting tomorrow. There's also something spooky that I'm going to say about this fight when I get to the end. You might be wondering why Rafael Cerqueira is fighting tomorrow. I think it's because he's going to get... The UFC is like, all right, we'll just use this guy as a knockout farm. We'll farm knockouts from this guy. We'll farm highlights. Cerqueira has not shown anything. He's been brutalized a couple times, 2 times. And they were bad, like some people do get brutalized, some people get KO'd, some people get finished, but they still fight well. Like Cerqueira kind of got violated. He just got violated, man. He hasn't shown anything. Now, I say all that to say this. They want Julius Walker to win. Man came off a contentious split decision loss to Alonzo Menefield. I had Alonzo Menefield in that fight, thank God. This, for some reason, I don't know why, I feel like Cerqueira maybe is going to, like, somehow upset shit. I hope not. In reality, probably no, it doesn't happen, but just has a strange vibe to it. Strange vibe. Julius Walker versus Rafael Cerqueira. Shit has me a little tweaked. My official pick, though, will be Julius Walker by round 1 KO TKO. Again, Rafael Cerqueira really hasn't shown his shit, and when he gets rocked, when he starts getting hit, he's been done. That's it. Moving on. Your boy Eric Anders versus CLD, Christian Leroy Duncan. Christian Leroy Duncan, the heavy favorite. I think rightfully so. He is going to be the pick again by round 1 KO TKO. But Eric Anders, this is what I said previously, so I'm going to keep it a lot shorter this time around. What I said previously on stream is a lot of respect to Eric Anders. Man has carved out a great career for himself as a mixed martial artist and a UFC fighter, respectively. Coming into this fight at 38 years old versus the 30-year-old CLD. Spooky hours. Christian Excuse me, Christian Leroy Duncan, the bigger man. Like I said, CLD by KO round 1 is the pick. But that should be pretty good too. Moving on. Miles Jones versus John Matsumoto. John Matsumoto, young prospect, 25 years old, about to be 26. Wee lad, 5'6", 68.5-inch reach. Miles Jones a little bit bigger. And a big underdog, Luke. Not big, but John Matsumoto, coming off of a decision loss, split decision loss, again, contentious split decision loss to Rob Font. But I hope that he learned a lot. And I'm kind of betting on him, both literally and figuratively, learning a lot from that fight. Miles Jones had a tough opponent in his last outing in Felipe Lima, but actually put on some wins over a decent guy in Douglas Silva de Andrade, Cody Gibson, all right. Dan Argueta, the overturned, question mark. Vince Morales shit doesn't impress me. I'm going to go with John Matsumoto by decision. Maybe man finds a sub somehow in this fight, but I'm going to say by decision. Again, keep it quick as we recap back up to where we're at now. Next up, Andre Touchy-Feely versus Christian Rodriguez. C-Rod. I really fuck with Andre Feely, man. And I picked C-Rod by decision, right? But I want to pick Andre Feely. I really do. These bands both fought Melkazel Costa in their last fight. Both lost to him. Andre Feely got finished by him. I'm going to just go with C-Rod. Just the youth. Just a little younger. A little less mileage. They're making C-Rod move up, and they made, or I don't know if they made, but C-Rod moving up in weight. Man, Andre Feely will be bigger than C-Rod, though. That's the spooky thing. I might change up on that, but for now, I'm going to go with C-Rod by decision. Yasmin Lucindo versus Angela Overkill Hill. I will always go with Angela Hill. This is kind of an emotional pick, but shout out Angela Hill. Shout out Evolution Muay Thai. Angela Hill by decision. Very calm. We move on. Angela Hill also, if you look at her past 5 fights, she actually should be on a 5-fight win streak. Both of those decision losses are robberies. Moving on. Steve Urseg. So where we're at, actually. No, this is right where we're at. That was the featured fight of the night. Now at the co-main event, Steve Urseg versus Ode Osborne. Tapology overwhelmingly picking Steve Urseg, and rightfully so. Steve Urseg, I was saying it's quite interesting. Man was fighting for the belt, literally, and that fight for the belt ended up being the first fight of a 3-fight losing streak. Granted, they're all decent dudes, but like getting KO'd by Kai Kara France, it's over, bro. It's over. I also get a really weird, sick satisfaction, a sick sense of pleasure from watching Steve Urseg lose. Not only lose, but get finished. Like, when he got knocked out by Kai Kara France, that should made me bite my lip, actually, with pleasure. But he's going to win here. The question is, how does he win here? Ode Osborne also has a little 3-fight losing streak, but that was in the middle of 2 wins, actually. Man's 2-3 in his last. Both men are 2-3 in their last 5 fights. Only difference is Steve Urseg is 0-3 in his last 3, and Ode is 1-2. Ode's going to have a good reach advantage, actually. Yeah, maybe Ode KOs him. Some people are actually rocking with the KO, but I'm going to go with Steve Urseg. Actually. I'll say Steve Urseg by decision. And now we move on to the main event, the Spooky Hours fight. Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez. Spooky. The Caucasian versus Fluffy. Now, there was never really a question about it. I'm going to go with Anthony Hernandez. I'm also going to go with Anthony Hernandez by sub. And is the submission artist. 5-fight win streak. Probably, maybe even more for this man. Fucking Fluffy. Man's going off crazy against big-time names, too. Marc-Andre Barriol. Edmund Shabazian. Roman Kopylov. The Roman Kopylov shit was hype. That was... if you were around for the Roman Kopylov shit, that was crazy. Michel Pereira. That was crazy, though. That was the come-up. That was fine. That was justice. That shit was justice. Smoking on his pack. Brendan Allen smoking on his pack. Roman Dolidze. Now, here's the thing. The Marvin Vettori shit, that already had me a little cautious. That shit had me a little cautious. Losing to Marvin Vettori, a little spooky. The Nasruddin and Mavov fight, Roman Dolidze versus Nasruddin and Mavov, was so dog shitty that I wrote the both of them off, actually, in my mind. I was like, Roman Dolidze and Nasruddin and Mavov are both dog shitty. Turns out, Nasruddin and Mavov isn't that dog shitty, actually. He's not that dog shitty. And Roman Dolidze has snuck away with some wins here and there. The Anthony Smith shit. Spooky Hours. Kevin Holland, fuck that. And then I got it back on Marvin Vettori. I actually really don't like any of Roman Dolidze's wins. Some of his wins have actually been quite brutal. He's had quite brutal finishes, but they're just, I don't know. Like the Phil Hawes shit, I don't know. Like, Phil Hawes got hurt in that. Like, Spooky Hours. Fluffy, on the other hand, man is extremely dangerous. Just extremely dangerous. You can see it in the way he fights. Man finishes people. In his last 5 fights, he's won them all, but 4 of those wins, have been finish wins. 85% of Tapology going with Anthony Hernandez. And I'm going to be one of them. I'm going to go with it by sub, too. It's just, when does this fight end? I actually think that Anthony Hernandez is going to expose Roman Dolidze a little bit. So I'm going to say round 3. Anthony Hernandez, round 3 submission. Save the picks, lock them in. Oh, did the weigh-ins just come out? We will peep the weigh-ins. I was trying to see that shit. Whoa, spooky. Actually going to leave some Tapology comments. Holy. That's pretty much it for the picks and predictions. Trying with the live picks and predictions. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Stream ending up actually quite calmly at 2 hours. Maybe a very rare hidden gaming stream later. Possibly. Been having technical difficulties, but the last one was actually a huge success. Saw the most viewership that we have on this channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking the stream. Thank you for subscribing. Of course, you will see soon scheduled live stream for tomorrow, the Smoky Hours Fight Companion. Every Saturday, every UFC event, we will be here. We're not missing one. We haven't missed one in a long-ass time. We will be there. I don't think we ever missed one, actually, on this channel. But thank you for watching. As always, much love. Big kiss.